Hey guys, welcome back to my channel via Glow. If you're new here, my name is Gloria and I'm a full-time reseller on multiple different apps and I resell clothes and shit. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a shit with me video. I want to show you guys what sold over the weekend for me, so let's just jump right in. Alright, so first I made a gross profit of $557 with the net profit of $429.96. Made a total of 25 sales across all three platforms. Unfortunately, there's no sales on Curtsy, which breaks my heart, but that's okay. All right, so the first thing to sell on Poshmark was actually these Levi wedgie jeans. This exact style has definitely 100% declined. Before, you could get at the very least about $45 for these, and I feel like maybe if you hold out long enough you probably could, but these used to just be popular AF a good year ago. But since I did pick these up at the bins, I didn't mind, you know, either sitting on them or selling them for a little bit under what I would prefer to sell them for. So these actually sold for $36. I think my Poshmark bot ended up sending them the offer and they accepted it, and I initially had them listed at $45. So generally speaking, you know, I try to make sure I have enough wiggle room, because even if they would have sent me like a $30 offer, I would have accepted it, just because I know that this style is, it's not necessarily not popular, but it's just not the it girl, you know. So I didn't want to sit on it too long, and it didn't take forever to sell. It actually sold within a month. So I actually sourced it in September, so they just sold. I do believe that they probably, no, they didn't get relisted, so they actually sold in under 2 months, so we love that. So I did pay 98 cents for these, and I made a profit of $25.80 after fees and cost of goods. I would 100% still pick these up at the bins. I don't even consider them at a regular thrift store, but at the bins, they're coming home with me. I get my Hulkin. By the way, like, super side note, Hulkin reached out to me and they gave me like a code or something to use. So if y'all want to buy a Hulkin, use my code down below. Like, I was shocked too. But anyways, so the second thing to sell was this Lands End kids jumper. I want to say it's kind of like a snow situation, so like a snowsuit, and this was the grow along style. I don't know, but I've always had a lot of luck selling like snow things, so I was like, you know what, I never picked up a kid's snow item, so let's test it out. And I'm actually really glad that I did, because this took what, 2 weeks to sell, and it sold for a decent amount. I think I had it listed initially at $35. It was getting quite the attention across all platforms, and for some reason I thought it was going to sell on eBay, but it didn't. It sold on Poshmark, and it sold for $28. Again, my Poshmark bot sent them out an offer, they accepted it, and I paid 99 cents, and I made a profit of $19.39 after fees and cost of goods. And I have to say, like, it was a pretty good pickup. I do believe when I hauled it, I told you guys that it was my first time actually picking up Lands End's kids. I just started like looking into the brand over the summer, and I think I've only picked up a total of like 3 items. So when I saw these, I'm like, you know what, let me test it out. Do you not want to go in here? I don't think they want to go in here, child. Okay, that's okay. So yeah, I was actually happy that I did, because they sold fairly quick and they sold for a decent amount. I need to get larger poly rulers. Okay, there we go. But yeah, I know now that Lands End might be a good bread and butter, but like specific things, like not just picking anything and everything up like I was with a couple of brands like Soft Surroundings and J. Jill. I used to just pick up any and everything, but now, you know, we're not there anymore. All right, so next we have these Gap Flare jeans. These were so nice and so groovy, and that was the reason why I picked them up. And the black was still in a really dark colorway instead of like being faded. But y'all, I have these listed, I want to say at what, like 28, because Gap just does not perform well for me. I don't know if it's what I'm picking up, but the brand just doesn't perform. It's just not me, and maybe it's just not a good brand to resell. Like, maybe it's a great brand to you know, buy yourself, but just not resell, because it just doesn't do it. I could never get above $20 for this brand, even if the item is brand new. So that's pretty depressing. But yeah, so this person came in with a offer, and I kind of sat on it for a little bit because it did have 5 watchers on it, or I guess likers, and nobody, you know, countered or anything. So I just went on and accepted their offer just because I wanted to go ahead and get rid of it. So I learned my lesson. This particular buyer just reached out to me too and was like, shipping soon with a question mark, and I'm like, today. So this next one is actually Wrangler. These were a kick high-rise flare, and I was so sad because I sourced these for myself at the bins and they actually fit, but the problem was that I am 5'2", y'all. Like, I am short. Tried them on and they just looked so bad on me because I'm too short, and the way that they looked, it looked like I had on high waters, and it just didn't look right. So I went on and listed them and they sold. So I'm really happy about that. They did take a while to sell, actually. I think I got these over the summer, like maybe June-ish. And here we are, just finally selling them. They didn't sell for much. These were sold at $18, and since I got these for myself, I don't have a cost of goods, and I made a profit of $14.40 after fees and cost of goods. All right, so this one is a brand called 𝕃𝕀𝕊𝕋. Now, I initially picked this up because I thought this was a vintage coat, and it had wool and Angora hair on it. So I was just like, oh, let me see what this is about. And I looked into the brand after doing my little research, and I noticed that this is actually a Anthropologie brand, which shocked the hell out of me. So I didn't list this accurately. I initially listed it kind of high, and then once I saw, I'm gonna have to do this one off camera, so we're not gonna sit here with all of this. But yeah, so I initially listed it really high because I did get it over the summer, and then of course drop the price down, and here we are. It sold for $28. I did pay $1.07 for it, and I made a profit of $21.33 after fees and cost of goods. All right, so the next one is these pair of Beta brand work pants. These are actually a size small petite, and I did find these at the bins, and I was really hesitant on even taking them home just because of how Beta brand has fallen off. But I said, you know what, it's $1, you know what I'm saying? I think I can test my luck, and I'm actually glad I did because I didn't really think about how you know, these special sizes like small petite or like small tall could be sought after for people on the secondhand market, because they don't really have the option, because nobody really wants to pick up these sizes because they may take forever to sell. But this one took under a month to sell, so this was a pretty fast flip. It actually sold for my full asking price of $35, and I paid 99 cents for it. And I made a profit of $25.77 after fees and cost of goods, and I am pretty happy about that. It kind of validates me in a way because I recently picked up some Beta brand like trousers that were a tall size, and I was like, oh man. But I think it was a pretty good pickup, you know, because like I said, these are like specialty sizes, and the girls are out there, they need them. But if we are all saying like, oh, let's not pick them up because they take forever to sell, then, you know, we're missing out. But it was a pretty good flip. Like I said, it sold in under a month, and that's what we like to see. Okay. All right, this was a new to me brand. It's called 𝕃𝕇𝕋. It is like a maternity brand, and this was like a bamboo and viscose style, and I think that's the reason why it is like popular, and honestly that was the only reason why I picked it up, because items like this, you can kind of tell that they will perform decently just because of the bamboo. Bamboo is like really popular with sleepwear at the moment. So these initially sold on Mercari, and the buyer ended up sending me an offer and then asking me a question. So as of late, I want to say in October, I started to put like the condition with like the flaws or no flaws, and then like the whole little spiel, because I got really tired of people asking me what's the condition of this item when I thought the photos could very much so tell you that. And I personally am gonna state if anything is flawed in the description. So if you need me to tell you what the condition is after you've looked at all of the photos, I don't know. Maybe it's just a me thing. Y'all let me know down below if y'all ever ask somebody what's the condition of the item after you've already looked at the photos. Because I feel like you have a little bit of common sense to look at photos and be like, hey, the condition on that is not that great. That's why the price is low. Or the condition on that is excellent. That's a good price. Let me get it. And it's like people don't do that. But I just got really tired of them asking me what's the condition, and then I tell them and it's in excellent condition, and then they just like vanish. So it's pointless. So I said all that to say I started to put that inside of my description. So I put in a excellent condition, and then on Mercari I put that it is gently used because it's not like new. You get what I'm saying? So they messaged me after they sent the offer, and they were like, hey, what's the condition of this item? Because you put gently used and then put excellent condition. I say, well, the item doesn't have any flaws. It's in great condition. Like, I didn't know what type of reassurance she needed. So I let her know, like, hey, let me know if that's good enough for you. And because that's what it was. So she asked me how many times had it been worn. I'm like, I don't know that. Like, but yeah, so after that ended up happening, I said, let me know if you still want the item, and I'll go ahead and accept your offer. So she said, okay, thank you. And then I was like, okay, so I accepted the offer. Literally the next morning, she wakes up, she was like, oh, my husband already bought it for me as a gift. Can you cancel this order? And I went on and canceled it because I am not in the business of holding people's money hostage when the item hasn't shipped. Literally that next morning it sold. My bot sent them an offer of $22 in discounted shipping. I paid 99 cents. This actually was recently hauled. And I went on and made a profit of $14.59. 𝕃𝕸𝕊𝕋, I guess it's a good boutique brand, if you will. All right, so this next one is a Free People like thermal top. I received an offer and I quickly accepted it, just because I noticed as of late, like since the summer, I've been getting a lot of sales from all of my Free People items. Before, y'all know, Free People had just kind of tapered off, but I had noticed since the summer that I'm selling a lot of my Free People items. So I'm just like, you know what, let me keep picking it up if it's worth it. And this one was decent, you know, and I had it at $28, and they sent me an offer. 9 times out of 10, I'm always on my phone. So when I get a message that, you know, somebody has sent me an offer on Poshmark, I quickly go and look at, you know, the offer to see if it's better than what my bot is going to send them, so I can accept it. And I think this one was a little bit under what my bot was going to send them, so I went on and accepted it because I feel like the amount that I would have got on the back end would have been the same. So I went on and accepted it. So they sent me an $18 offer. I paid $1 for it at the bins, and I made a profit of $13.40. Typically these thermal tops do amazing during this time, so I feel like if you come across them, pick them up. Of course, don't price it too high. I think I did price mine high because $28 is ridiculous. Maybe $20 I probably got a faster flip, but I was cool with what I got. So yeah, Free People is okay. You know, she's not the top dollar anymore, but she's selling. This tape is just so cheap, but that's my fault. So this is a brand called Habitat. Yeah, I think I got this in a flip lot years ago, and that particular item had got a lot of attention, but it didn't sell for a lot. But I did remember, you know, the label, and I believe it is sold at Anthropologie, like literally everything. But I went on to pick this up. It did have a flaw to the back neckline, so I didn't want to price it too high, but the comps on this brand is decent. I mean, $25 to $30 respectively is what you're going to get for it, and that's essentially what I got. My bot ended up sending them a offer for $22 in discounted shipping. They accepted it, and you know, here we are. I paid $1.19 at the bins. Whoa, that was disrespectful. Yeah, I paid the $1.19 at the bins, and I made a profit of $14.39 after fees and cost of goods. And yeah, I don't know much about the brand, but I think if I find it in good condition, I will pick it up. It seems to be a decent sale. This one didn't take long to sell at all, and it sold, you know, for a decent price. All right, so the last thing to sell on Poshmark were these Zara trousers. I want to say last year in the, I want to say fall, I think I sold like 3 pairs of these, all for, you know, $25 to $30, and I was like, oh, this is a hot commodity. So every time I saw it, I picked it up, but this one kind of missed the window of the selling point because we made it all the way to, you know, fall again, and it finally sold. I think I must have sourced this in April, so we were pretty much transitioning to spring, summer. But yeah, I think this is probably the only thing moving forward. Well, let me not say that, because I feel like a lot of the times I'm like, oh, I'm going to stop picking this up. But I'm going to be more careful. Let me just say it that way. Zara has definitely slowed down in a sense of even the price point that I'm selling it for is not that great. So I'm going to be more mindful and careful of what I'm picking up. But this one just seems like a, you know, a given. Like, I'm gonna always pick these type of pants up. They're kind of like a suede material, but these actually sold for $25. They actually sent me that. I think I had them at either 35 or 28 or something like that, and they sent me a $25 offer. I, of course, accepted it. I paid $1.09 for it, and I made a profit of $18.91 after fees and cost of goods. Moving on to eBay. This is a very bad pickup. I think I sourced this one last year, and like I say all the time, I was checking the comps, never the sell-through rate. I would only check and see if this item sold. So I type in the brand, and then I see a whole bunch of solds, and I'm like, oh, let me get it. And that was a big mistake. Is that what Miss Rachel said? Oh, that was a mistake. I think that's her husband. Anyways, so I went on and was like, you know what, I pulled it from my inventory, like that pile that I keep telling y'all I'm gonna take to buy so trade stores, and I still haven't. But I pulled it and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and donate this one just because this is not gonna be picked up by a buy so trade store. So somebody sent me an offer. I think I had it at 18, so it must have been relisted and kind of pushed back up to the top. And they sent me a $10 offer. Of course, I went on and accepted it because I'm like, oh great, you know, I can make something from this item. And I paid $1.15 for it, so I only made a profit of $5.90. All right, y'all, so moving on to eBay. This is a Polo Ralph Lauren, just a polo shirt, I want to say. So when I was complaining about Ralph Lauren really slowing down for me, a lot of people said, hey, if you find the big pony sells well. I'm like, what the hell is the big pony? They say you'll know when you see it. And I'm like, okay, thanks, very helpful. But now I get it. This is the big pony. So this shirt actually is a 3X, and I picked it up because I was like, oh, you know, this is the big pony that they all spoke of. And I picked it up, and this one got immediate attention across all 3 platforms, which I was really happy about because I'm like, okay, awesome. It did have a flaw in the front, like a little grease stain that I couldn't get out, which really annoyed me. But I do believe somebody told me with grease stains something about Dawn dish soap. I'll have to go and look at it again. But yeah, so that's probably what I need to start doing, honestly, y'all. Like accumulating some clothes and you know, cleaning it the way that y'all have let me know, so that way I can get a little bit more money for it. But yeah, so this one sold, and it sold for $16.99. Ironically enough, this weekend I ran a sale. I want to say it was only 10%. I went in with the mindset of I was going to run a 10% off sale all month, because I remember Mogi Beth saying that that's what she does. She just keeps a 10% sale like nonstop. So I was like, you know what, let me try that. And then I noticed, like, girl, you already priced the items so low on eBay. Like, eBay is ideal for buyers because the item is already low, and then here I am doing 10%, and then of course within days I'm going to send out offers, so people are like waiting and waiting and waiting so they can just, you know, hop on the deal. So I say, you know what, let's take the sale off. Let's not run any more sales moving forward. I know I'm already telling y'all my business for the November recap, but I've decided on eBay, I'm not running any more sales. Initially, the sales are supposed to get like buyers to just kind of come in casually on their own. But if I'm already pricing my item low, why am I putting it on sale? Why am I sending out an offer on top of the sale? So I stopped that immediately. I think I woke up on Saturday and did that. So I took the sale off on Saturday, and then I ended up making all of these sales last night, which I thought was very strange because they all bought at my full asking price. Granted, they can't send me offers, but I just thought that it was strange because it's like, okay, I quite literally have this, you know, 10% is not a lot. Don't get me wrong, 10% is not a lot. But yeah, so that ended up happening. And this one sold for $16.99. I paid 99 cents and I made a profit of $14.36. And I think if this one did have that grease stain, I most likely could have got a lot more for that. But you know, you live and you learn. This is a express dress. This is the Portofino shirt dress. But I've been picking up a lot of Portofino stuff, let's just say. Every time I go to the bins, I find at least one item for that week. And since it has been selling, I'm not gonna stop picking it up. Now, of course, the price point that it sells for is not a lot. Let me know what y'all sells for, because I feel like mine is between $12 to $18. I don't think I've ever gotten $20 for it, and I probably could have got more for this just because this was a dress. So I didn't want to price it high because I wanted it to sell, but it ended up selling, and I paid $1 for it. It sold for $16.98, and I made a profit of $14.34. So I don't know, I think I'm gonna just keep picking it up. This alone didn't take that long. I want to say maybe under 2 months to sell. I rearranged my books to where I don't know the exact date, so it's never really gonna be like, oh, this sold in, you know, 3 weeks, or this sold in a week. I only put the month now. So if something sells, I say, oh, this sold in October, or if this sold, it sold in, you know, September. So it's no real like tracking this going on, you know. That's not a real word, but I came up with it anyways. All right, so the next one is this Eileen Fisher, like very thin sweatshirt. I, of course, found this at the bins, so I was really happy. For some reason, y'all, I don't know if Eileen Fisher just had like a resurgence or what, but I noticed that every Eileen Fisher piece I pick up, she's selling. She's moving within like 3 months. And granted, the pieces that I do have that I've had for over 6 months, they clearly weren't good pieces. But now that I know how to pick them, I'm much smarter with it. So I don't sit on Eileen Fisher longer than, you know, the 3-month mark for anything that I've picked up from the bins. Honestly, I'd have to say within like 2 months even, because I price accordingly. I noticed that most of it sells on eBay, and I think it's because I'm pricing a little bit lower than market over there, and people are recognizing like, oh, this is a great deal, let me go ahead and get it. And I think that they're very smart. So this person actually went on and bought this one at my full asking price of $35.99. I paid 99 cents for it, so I made a profit of $30. But yeah, y'all, I think Eileen, especially if it has like a really good fabric content, it's probably the best thing to go ahead and pick them up. Typically, that's why I pick up most of the Eileen that I come across, is because it has like alpaca or wool or linen or just something that has real substance to it, you know? All right, this is an ASOS dress. It is from their tall line, I want to say. Tall, yeah, tall. I picked this up because this colorway during this season is the best way to go. Very much so a like holiday, you know, Thanksgiving dress. And yeah, I just think it's really good to pick up. But anyways, this one sold for $16.99. I paid $1.01 for it. I made a profit of $14.16 after fees and cost of goods. All right, this is a Zara bodycon dress. Yeah, this one was kind of like a new without tags. You can still see like that little, you know, tag that they have on it. I thought I was gonna at the very least get about $25 for this, but I didn't. And I went on and was like, you know what, it's okay, I accept defeat. like I told y'all before, Zara is just kind of on the decline for me, or maybe I'm just not picking up the best pieces. And this one sold for $16.13, which looks to be like I sold it on an offer, and I paid $1.34 for it, so I made a profit of $13.05 after fees and cost of goods. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I know Zara could be very much so oversaturated, so that could be like the biggest thing about it, but I don't know. I mean, I'm content with the $13.05. But yeah, this is a Life is Good Christmas shirt. This is also a brand that I enjoy picking up. I do think that I'm gonna be more mindful moving forward of what exactly I'm picking up from this brand. Probably stick to like the men's wear mostly, because I feel like the men's Life is Good perform a lot better than the women's. Granted, this was a Christmas, so I think that's probably why this one sat for as long as it did. But I think I got this over the summer, and of course, you know, get to like here, like there, but somebody finally committed, and it only sold for $12.72, and I paid 95 cents, so I made a profit of $10.54 after fees and cost of goods. And this is more so what I'm saying that I don't want to pick up anymore. I have somewhat moved to a place where I am not only profiting like, you know, $6-7 from items frequently, because those are the ones where I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna draw my line here. But this particular brand doesn't retail for a lot, maybe $30, you know, $40 tops. So trying to sell it on the resale market is a little tough. So like I said, if it's a men's item, it's a larger size, then I'll most likely pick it up. But from here on out, I'm definitely going to be a little bit more mindful. I think I have 2 more items from Life is Good that I plan on kind of phasing out, so we'll see. All right, these are some Zara wide leg trousers. These did have like a flaw to the front. You could barely tell because I don't even remember, but yeah, y'all already know these trousers are like really in right now, so I was happy to pick them up when I did, especially at the bins, and I thought they would have performed a little bit better. But like I told y'all before, Zara has definitely taken just a little bit of a decline for me personally, because I feel like before I used to be able to get $25 and over for Zara, usually maybe $25 to like $30, and now it's at like $15 to $20, and it's only a small dip, but I think, you know, we still want to be mindful. So probably only going to be picking up larger sizes or maxi dresses, or maybe even the blogger stuff, because even y'all, I even picked up a blogger's dress or a blogger's favorite or whatever, and that thing don't get no attention. So that's why I'm just kind of like, what is the truth, you know? So like I said, just gonna be really mindful. Gonna take her off my, you know, always pick up list and put her on the let's vet this a little bit more list, you know. But this one sold for $16.98, and I paid $1.34, so I made a profit of $13.79 after fees and cost of goods. All right, so the last thing to sell on eBay was this soft surroundings, like a denim chambray jacket. This was a 1 size, so that made me a little bit more happy, because that means that anybody can fit in this. But I received a message, I want to say like a week ago, from somebody, and they were like, could you do this for $20? Mind you, I had it priced at $28.99, which is under market, okay? Because I could at the very least price this at $35 and sat on it, and then it would have sold for $35. Because this, you know, is a pretty good piece. The comps on it was decent, so that was the reason why I went on and got it. But they sent me that, and I told them, oh no, not at the moment, because at that particular time I had just taken it off of sale. So I did run, I had to have been like either a 15% off or something like that. And she was like, oh, you just sent me out an offer for $24, could we meet in the middle at $22? I said, no, I'm sorry, the price right now is the lowest that I'm willing to go on it. And that also just kind of gives off the notion like, girl, I'm not meeting in the middle anywhere. This piece, I know for a fact it would have sold for my full asking price, so I don't, you know, want to play this particular game. And I recognize, since I come across so many different items, some things are worth just taking, you know, a couple of dollars off and getting the sale. But some things you kind of know that, okay, this is going to perform a little bit better, let me just wait for the right buyer. But this one has a lot of attention across all platforms, so I know that at the very least it's going to sell for my $28.99 or for $35 or full asking price on Poshmark. So that's why I was just kind of like, oh, you know, no, I'm just gonna keep it at the price that it is. So yeah, I ended up telling her, no, I'm actually just gonna keep it at the price that it is. And my whole thing too is that if I sent you an offer for $24 and you thought that was, you know, a decent deal for the most part, you should have probably accepted it, you know? But you didn't, because you wanted to, you know, save $4 more, and that's okay. I'm not saying you need to buy it, but hopefully you can find it somewhere else, because this actually sold for my full asking price of $28.99, and I paid 99 cents for it, and I made a profit of $24.56 after fees and cost of goods. And it actually sold to somebody that's in my city, so that's kind of cool. All right, so moving on to Mercari. These are a pair of Beach Riot leggings. I was having the absolute worst luck last week at the bins, and this sparked a little bit of joy, just a tiny bit. And it actually sold within 2 days of me listing it. I feel like I heard of this on Instagram, and that's why the name was like, oh, let me get it. I don't think the girls are really wearing leggings like that, like how we used to. You know, I think the girls have moved on to trousers as their, you know, casual pants and stuff like that. So when I received an offer, I went on and accepted it. And right before I accepted it, I went to go and look and see, like, what is this one specifically selling for, because I didn't want to undersell either. But I noticed that, you know, the 25 to 35 range was what they were selling for used. So I went on and accepted their offer, and I had it priced at $35. They sent me a $27 offer, and I only paid $1.13 for it, and I made a profit of $21.74 after fees and cost of goods. And you know, I think that was a pretty good price point. So side note, y'all, I think the only reason why I got these 6 sales is because Mercari probably realizes that they are not doing good, and I mean at all. So they sent out coupons, and everybody was trying to get rid of their coupons because they actually expire. What's today? They actually expire tomorrow. So yeah, this was a new to me brand called Oat Collective. This one just says love one another. I only picked this one up off of style. I actually didn't even check comps or the brand, because I'm like, this is gonna do great, you know, for February. It's just so pretty. It's just a nice little crew neck, and it's a size large. And I honestly was looking at it sideways, like I probably should have kept this, but I listed it anyways, and I'm like, you know, if it doesn't sell, then maybe I'll keep it. And had it listed, and somebody just came in and bought it for my full asking price. I didn't even check comps, y'all. I just listed it at $20, because $20 is just like a good base price for me personally, because if somebody would have sent me a $16 offer, I would have accepted it. But yeah, so they bought it full asking price, so that made me go and look on Mercari for this specific brand. And it is a boutique brand, and I noticed that most of the soles were between like $30 to $40. So I definitely undersold this, and I didn't see any ones of this particular style. So now I know moving forward, if I find Oat Collective, I'm gonna go ahead and keep it. Well, not for myself, but like, you know, raise the price on it just to make sure I'm getting the most that I can from it. All right, so this one actually sold for $20. I paid $1.13 for it, and I made a profit of $15.58 after fees and cost of goods. And you know, I'm cool with it. All right, this is a Old Navy jumpsuit. I was actually really surprised that this one took as long as it did, because these were selling like hotcakes when I first picked them up. And I'm like, oh, mine's gonna do great, da 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 da. It is a 2X. And y'all, this thing sat and sat and sat and sat some more. So I was like really annoyed, but I was like, it is what it is. But it eventually sold, and I was really happy that it sold for a decent amount, to say the least. because you already know how Old Navy is. Old Navy doesn't retail for much, so it doesn't really sell for much on the resale market. So this one probably was priced at $28 across all platforms, just because I wanted to get about $20 for it. And I paid 90 cents for this one. It sold for $24, and I made a profit of $19.29 after fees and cost of goods. And I think that's actually really decent for something that is from Old Navy, because like I said, Old Navy doesn't retail for much. So, you know, to get a $20 bill off of it is pretty damn good. All right, this is a Maurice sweater. This was picked up strictly off of style. It was giving very much so Christmas vibes, and this is actually my first time picking up Maurice's. Like, I've never picked up the brand. I do see it a lot at the bins, but the simple fact that it had plaid, it was deer headed, and this is very much so a, you know, holiday Christmas, you know, vibe. And it was an extra large, so that was the main reason why I picked it up. And I'm actually glad I did, because this sold what, 2 or 3 days, and it got a lot of attention across all platforms. So I was surprised that it sold on Mercari, but they ended up sending me an offer. I priced it at $20, which I thought was very reasonable. I don't like to price items that I have, you know, not much luck with too high, because I want to see, like, you know, what I can get for it, and it won't be a waste of my time. And this one sold for the $16. Like I said, I accepted their offer, so I did pay $1.08 for it, and I made a profit of $12.21 after fees and cost of goods. I think I probably could have priced this at like $25 and then sold it for $20. So moving forward, I know for a fact I can get just a little bit more for it. But I don't know if this is going to be a brand that I kind of put in my, you know, let's pick it up and we see it, unless again it's the size or the style that's going to sell it, because I don't know. Maurice, I believe, is like a mature brand, and I don't necessarily pick up a lot of mature brands. I feel like I like to pick up right in the middle, where I got a little bit mature, a little bit of Gen Z, and then millennials. You know, that's pretty much my core audience here, you know. All right, so this is a romper from Urban Outfitters. This is a brand that I had noticed was selling for me, and I was like, you know what, let me just keep picking it up. And then I started to notice, like, okay, it's slowing down, and it's only slowing down because I picked up like summer items, and here we are about to be in winter, so that's why I think it slowed down. But I think moving forward, Urban Outfitters is always going to be considered every time I find it. Even if I, you know, find it out of season, I'll still get it and just hold on to it. But what I find so funny, somebody sent me an offer on this one on Mercari, and then I saw a notification on Curtsy that somebody sent me an offer, which I thought was just the craziest thing, because on Mercari I had it priced at $28. They sent me a $21 offer, and of course I accepted it. And then I noticed the notification I noticed that the badge for Curtsy had like a little red dot. So I was like, oh, let me go to it. Went to it, and I saw that somebody sent me a $13 offer over there for this one. So I was like, oh, this must be the same person, because there's no way that, you know, two people at the exact same time is looking for this specific item. And I looked at the name of both on both platforms, and they have the exact same name. So I'm like, okay, it's got to be the same person. And honestly, thank God she sent the one on Mercari first, because I probably would have accepted it on Curtsy had that one came in first, because I'm still trying to get that one going, you know. All right, so this is the last thing on good old Mercari. It is this American Eagle vintage like puffer coat. This is actually, I want to say, from either 2012 or 2011. I'm gonna have to package this off camera, y'all, because this is gonna be a headache trying to, you know, get situated. But I picked this one up over the summer. I knew for a fact, okay, it was gonna do good, and it actually did. So this one sold for $30, and I paid $1.14, and I made a profit of $24.21. I got a lot of attention on this. I remember sending out an offer on Mercari. I think I priced it at $55, because I really wanted to get about $30 to $40 for it. Ideally $40, but I sent out a $35 offer. Somebody said, hey, could you do $30 with shipping? what, I mean, I just don't understand. So of course I told her no, but I ended up dropping the price on this one because I didn't want it to sit around past wintertime. So I dropped the price to $40. They sent me a $30 offer. I was like, of course. So yeah, this was a good pickup. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and watching this video. Please let me know down below how your sales for the first week of November went, because that is when I filmed this video. Today is November 6th to be exact. I know I saw a lot of people complaining about their sales this weekend, saying how bad it was. I personally, this is an average weekend for me. Like 25 sales and making a profit over $400 is a decent, you know, weekend for me. It's nothing great, nothing bad, right in the middle. So yeah, hopefully you guys, November is going good, because mine kind of is. Let me not jinx it. But yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.